What's up, everybody? This week in gaming, Suicide Squad gets dunked on by their own CEO. Square Enix shifts to multi-platform. Assassin's Creed Shadow appears, plus much, much more. This is the NerdCave News, and I am your host, Zach Dykes. This episode is brought to you by our wonderful supporters over at Epic Games Store, where you can support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout. Also, Coffee Brand Coffee and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later. Guys, I hope you're doing well tonight. Thank you for being patient. We were having a little bit of an issue trying to go live, but I'm glad that we're here and hanging out. I'm looking forward to enjoying some time together, everybody. So, what have you been playing? What you playing? My favorite segment of the show. I've been playing actually quite a lot, even with like some of the like carpal tunnel issues and all of that, like making the list. I've got 3 games on my list. That looks like 4, but I got 3 games on my list. I've got Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Sea of Thieves, and Little Kitty Big City. Y'all let me know what you have been playing as well, because there's a lot of good games out there, and all of these are actually on Game Pass. I played all of these on Game Pass. Been playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition over on the channel during Tuesday streams and everything. So I've been enjoying that a pretty good bit. It is definitely a different, like, it's been several years since I played Mass Effect 1. Any of the Mass Effects, really. I remember Mass Effect coming out. It was the first game I played all the way through on the Xbox 360. I say that with a caveat. I would say it's the first game that I played on the Xbox 360 totally, but I played this game called Stronghold, and it was not for me. People like review it really well. I don't know why. That game is not good at all. So I played Stronghold first, but that was the one that really brought me in, especially the RPGs, because I wasn't huge on RPGs until actually playing Mass Effect. So jumping back in there, the world is really lush. There's definitely some age on the gameplay mechanics. The graphics look pretty good because it is the, enhanced version of it, but the eyes kind of creepy. But I'm enjoying Mass Effect Legendary Edition, enjoying playing it, and can't wait to get more into the story and everything. And I hope everyone is enjoying that. I finished Sea of Stars. I talked about this on Car Thoughts, that I would dive in a little bit deeper into my thoughts on Sea of Stars for NerdCave News. I finished it. I really like this game. The music is amazing. The combat is phenomenal. The story, oh my. The story has its ups. Like, it has where you're feeling like you're on top of the mountain, and then you got other parts that it feel like you are in the bottom. You are the just in the muck. And it does such a good job, because you look at the game and it's like, oh, well, that's kind of cutesy and everything. This game takes you through all the emotions, all the rigor, all of that. It goes through it all. And again, the combat is amazing. I played the game with a lot of what they call relics on, because I just wanted to enjoy the game. I just wanted to enjoy the story. I didn't want to have to manage all of these systems. I just wanted to play, and I like that. Not all the time do I sit down and just play a game on an easier difficulty. I'm not one of those get good bros, but playing this on an easier difficulty just let me enjoy the game. It took me a while to finish it. I wished I would have finished the game quicker. That was something that I took a big break right before the last boss battle, which to me was not the smartest choice. Because like, once everything was over, I felt like I was like I missed out on something. That emotional connection was a little bit weaker because I took such a large break from the game. But finishing it, I'm really excited. They're putting out a DLC later this year. They're also doing co-op mode, which I think would be really, really fun for anyone that is, it's going to be couch co-op. It's going to be local because there are some timing things with Sea of Thieves and the combat and everything. You want to hit the A button to either double your attack power or to reduce attack damage and everything. So that's why it's going to be local co-op play. But Sea of Thieves, highly, I know I've talked about it to death on this show. I highly, highly suggest going and playing it if you like a good story. I'm not a big fan of like the JRPG like sprite games, but this made me a believer. I know a lot of people have said for years that I should play, Final Fantasy or anything like that. This definitely made me super, super excited. I think Sabotage is the developer for Sea of Stars. They did fantastic. Go check it out. It is on Game Pass. Well worth the playthrough. Highly, highly suggest it. And then let's take it down one more step to the last game that I started playing, new game that I started playing called Little Kitty, Big City. This is also on the Game Pass, and this game is cute. This game is so much fun. It is such an interesting playthrough. I haven't beat it yet, but the game mechanics you take on playing as this cat that has been blown off its perch, and you're trying to get back to your home. So you are learning how to live on the street, quote unquote. You're doing all of these things, and it is such a good game. It's super cute. It's a ton of fun to play. Highly, highly suggest it, especially if you're wanting something that's, if you like Untitled Goose Game, that's the closest way to relate this. A lot of people see it. It's like, oh, that's kind of like Untitled Goose Game. It is. It's not like Stray. Stray, you don't have as much control over the cat. There's combat and everything. This is just purely, you're a cat. You can swipe things off of ledges. You can meow. You can stretch. You can do the yuck, like the thing that cats do when they smell something bad. There's all of these things in there, and you get to befriend different animals throughout your gameplay. You learn different abilities, and you get super cute hats. So if you're a cat fan, this is definitely something that you want to play. Amy said Little Kitty Big City is cute, is so cute and funny. There are a lot of funny moments. A lot of the characters that you run into are hilarious. One cat hates jam, so you have to go destroy a bunch of jars of jam. It's great, guys. Highly, highly suggest going playing Little Kitty Big City over on Game Pass. It's also available on Steam, PlayStation, and of course the Nintendo Switch. Super easy to play. You get sucked into the world, and it's a ton of fun. So that's what I've been playing. Y'all let me know what you have been playing down in the comments below. Because we are about to get into our gaming discussion for the week. Warner Brothers CEO slams Suicide Squad game. Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League release disappointing. Rocksteady, not Warner Brothers, this is interesting, chose the live service model for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. The game's poor performance contributed to a significant decline in the company's Q1 games revenue. Last year's revenue was buoyed by Hogwarts Legacy's 2023 best-selling game, and the release caused $200 million impact on Warner Brothers Discovery projection. So why does all of this matter? The disappointing performance of a highly anticipated game highlights the volatile nature of the gaming industry and the financial risk involved, especially when prior successes set high expectations. And I think this is interesting on why it matters. Like a lot of people are, a lot of suits, that's what I like to call them, are saying, oh, the gaming market is so volatile. It's because y'all have made it volatile. Let's dive a little bit deeper here. Let's go deeper. Gamers don't want live service games. And Rocksteady picking this and saying we should make this a live service game is very interesting because it feels, even if they're saying that Rocksteady decided this, I feel like there was pressure, to be honest. That's just my take on this, that there was pressure from other places to make this next entry into something bigger. Why would you do it other than that? All the other games, you know, from Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, even Origins, which a lot of people crap on, but I think Origins has probably the best story out of all of them. None of those had microtransactions. Rocksteady is not known for any of that. Yes, they've had some DLCs or costumes or whatever, but the reason why Hogwarts Legacy sold so well, again, not developed by Rocksteady, but Rocksteady has pedigree. But the reason it sold so well is because you actually got to live and experience the world of Hogwarts, the world of Harry Potter. You got to learn how to fly a broom. You got to learn different spells. You got to make your own character and be who you wanted to be. It was a Harry Potter fan fantasy. You got to be in Hogwarts, and all of the stuff that is in that game is really well done, especially the castle. Getting to explore Hogwarts Castle and just all the intricacies, where you can literally look in the book and they're describing different parts of the castle, and you can go to those places and see them, from like the prefect like bathroom where they have like this extravagant shower and everything, to Hogsmeade where there's all these different stores. Hogwarts Legacy sold well for a reason. It's because it was made well. People were excited about this. When Kill the Justice League was shown, no one was excited for this game. No one was, oh man, I got to get my hands on Kill the Justice League. They were so disappointed that WB actually postponed the game to try to work on it. But once it was at that point, that game's already on this trajectory of being live service, of being something where you're shooting big purple orbs off of monsters. And even if the story was really good, if the gameplay loop is bad, people aren't going to be interested in it. People don't want to go through the motions. They want to actually enjoy this game. And that's why Kill the Justice League just did not do well. Even by delaying it, it had a lackluster reception. It's hurt WB, but they doubled down on live service games. We talked about this a few weeks ago. They doubled down on making more live service games, and that right there is just showing that they haven't learned anything, that they're not making a change, that they don't actually see, oh, well, the reason why Hogwarts did so well is because it's an actual full game. The reason why Suicide Squad did poorly, which is made by the best developer that we have under our umbrella, why did that do bad? Oh, well, it's because people don't like the Suicide Squad or whatever it is. It's not that. It's because it's live service and nobody wants to play that crap. There's too many live service games out there, and this one was just another bad live service game. So for me, I think WB has a lot more to learn here, and unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to learn very quickly. I think they're going to be quite slow learners, unfortunately. Guys, I hope you're doing well. Let me know how you are. Let's move into our second story of the night. Square Enix is shifting to multi-platform. Square Enix is adopting a multi-platform strategy. The 3-year plan focuses on productivity, diversifying earnings, stability, and balanced investment. Major franchises like Final Fantasy may see multi-platform releases, focus on fun in the future game development. Financial sales up 3.8%, operating income down 27%. So that's what they're wanting. So why does this all matter? That I want to focus on that real quick. This strategy marks a significant shift for Square Enix, potentially increasing accessibility to their major titles and diversifying their market presence. There we go. We'll get it eventually. So let's deep dive into this. Square Enix has had a very weird business model over the last few years because a lot of their big games have been pretty much locked down to a console. They have had some third party stuff that has come out over the last few years, but a lot of it has been locked down to PlayStation. A lot of it has been PlayStation centric. Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7, and Rebirth are all locked into the PlayStation ecosystem. And I've been wondering, Derek and I have talked about this several times on the show. Why hasn't 7 come out on other consoles? And you see how they do pretty well, but they're not selling gangbusters. They're not making back a lot of the money that they put into developing these franchises because they're on an exclusive platform. And again, this is not anything new for Square Enix. They actually did this back in the day with Tomb Raider, the 360 relaunch of the franchise, where they made it an exclusive for Xbox for a year, and it really hurt the sales of that franchise. And I feel like if they would have released it on PlayStation and Xbox, they would have seen more success with that series because those games are absolutely amazing. They're probably the best Tomb Raider games that are out there. But when you put a game, when you're not a first party developer and you're locking your game into a single platform, you're not going to get as big of a return. And we're seeing a lot of this as well with Xbox wanting to go multi-platform, PlayStation putting their games on PC and getting a huge return for that. You're seeing a lot of these developers, other than Nintendo, you're seeing a lot of them wanting to reach out beyond their borders and try to make more money. And Square Enix is definitely seeing that. It's like, hey, Final Fantasy 14 has done really well because it's on so many different places. We need to tap into that. We need to diversify. We can't just keep putting our eggs in one basket because also might be in our PlayStation quickies, but PlayStation is predicting less sales. They're predicting less consoles being sold this year. So it is not a, because we need, they don't want to trap themselves just on PlayStation anymore. And I don't blame them. PlayStation 5 has sold really well, but it isn't the same as all the PC players being on there, all the Xbox players. Getting those is going to revive them. It's going to bring an influx of cash. Yes, there's going to be some more development time when they're having to work on the games to make sure that they run, and that's a key point here, run well on them, because PlayStation has run into some issues with The Last of Us remaster earlier this year, not running well at all on the PC. So what I kind of take from all of this is I think this is a good move. I think more people will get to enjoy these worlds. And again, these are already third-party developers, and Square Enix has been known to actually make, third-party, games on other consoles and everything. Dan says they are too quick to blame the consumer base and not blame themselves for not understanding the consumer base. Exactly. I feel like that is majority of any kind of shareholders, any kind of executives. It's always someone else's fault and not the fault of decision makers. That is the buck keeps getting passed, and that is unfortunate, but it's true of life. The common people are going to get 80% of the blame, where the upper crust, the shareholders, the C-suite are going to get 20% of the blame. And then they get to keep their jobs and they get to keep making millions and millions of dollars. And that just kind of sucks, guys. that kind of sucks. You know what doesn't suck is some coffee brand coffee. If you want exceptional quality coffee with no gimmicks and no politics, you should try out the 12 coffee blends, the 12 organic teas, 3 hot cocoa flavors, and for your convenience, they have cold brew and K-cups available, and they also have started selling reusable K-cups where you can put your own coffee beans in there and be able to make your coffee the way you want to. Some of the standout blends, they've got marshmallow hot cocoa, biscotti oolong organic tea, blueberry cobbler flavored coffee. So delicious, guys. So if you want to get some coffee brand coffee, the thing that stands out to them, it's not Folgers in your cup. It's not sitting on the shelf forever. It's roasted to order. That's pretty dope. It's fresh to death, as I like to say. So elevate your coffee experience with coffee brand coffee. Use code NerdCave at checkout or the link in the description below to get 5% off your coffee order today. Guys, we got some Ubisoft stuff to talk about. That's not the one that I want. Here we go. Guys, we've got some Ubisoft news to talk about. Assassin's Creed Shadows reveals dual protagonists. So here are the main points. We're going to watch a trailer as well. Ubisoft reveals Assassin's Creed Shadows with a cinematic trailer. Players control Yasuke, I guess Yasuke, right? Yusuke, maybe, I don't know. Japan's first African samurai, and Naui, a female shinobi ninja. Launching on November 15th, 2024, explore feudal Japan with the changing seasons and reactive environments. Unique skills, gear, and progressions for each protagonist, which I think is really dope, and customize a hideout and build a network of spies. Ooh, I like that. So why does this matter? This new installment brings in the fan favorite setting of feudal Japan to life, an exciting dual protagonist dynamic, and expanding the series' open world RPG format. I know Japan has been a huge request for this series, and getting not only samurai, but also getting ninja, shinobi, I think is huge. It's kind of pretty much Ghost of Tsushima, where you got the samurai side and you also got the ninja side of it. So I'm excited about this. November 15th, 2024. Super excited. It's spelled Yasuke. Yes, and finally, an Assassin's Creed with ninjas. I agree 100%. So let's check out our trailer, everyone, and see what we're going to be getting up to. Whoa. Well, it's not wanting to show. We're going to try this again, guys. We're going to try it again. I want to know, can you show me? All right. Here we go. That must be the ninja. Yeah.
Who are you?
Your doom.
Who do you serve?
All I have ever known in my life, I will end.
That looks really nice.
Our customs, my family, burns in the name of unification.
Dang.
You are still a frog knows nothing of the sea.
So were they like
The
fighting
ocean's
against
filled
each
with
other?
new ships, but they all come from the same river. Greed.
Oh, that looks so cool. Oh, they got rifles too? What? Holy moly. He looks dang! He is wrecking house.
And you? Will you continue down that river? Or
Holy
choose
moly.
another path beyond what we see?
And we must look for it together.
All right. Are we going to get some gameplay? Oh, I like that. I like that little sleight of
We must
hand.
learn to trust, rebuild.
And follow the blade.
Oh, get it, flute player. Oh, he's got like the big club thing. Oh, dope. So we're getting like other weapons. That's really cool. Dude, he's wrecking him. Holy moly.
I said, who do you serve?
We serve no one.
We are the shadows.
That serve the light.
Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Man, okay, that I will admit, I wasn't like super stoked on Assassin's Creed, but that was dope, y'all. That was really, really cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm sold. I really am. I am sold on Assassin's Creed Shadows. And it's cool that we're getting like both a shinobi and a samurai on this. So November 15th, 2024. Really, really looking forward to that. Y'all let me know what you thought on that. Yes, it definitely looked awesome. Dan says, I wonder if they have different play styles depending on the character. I think they probably will. It seems like the samurai is probably going to be a little bit more stringent on forms. Maybe. I hope so, because anything that I learned from Ghost of Tsushima, the forms really made the gameplay interesting. So I hope that they do something similar. I don't want it to be 1-to-1, but I hope, it's like, okay, you get to use these, you get to use katana, you get to use the big club thing. And then samurai, you have, ninja, you have different weapons as well, the ninja stars and all of that, maybe some kunai, whatever. I'm down. I am super, super excited for this. Yes, I'm glad to see Assassin's Creed finally step it up. I know we got Assassin's Creed Mirage. It did have an interesting story from what I heard, but it was kind of like a filler in all of this. So finally seeing where they're going with Assassin's Creed does make me interested. Unfortunately, I got to ding it a little bit because we got some sad news, some weird news, because Ubisoft always has to poop where they eat, everybody. It just feels like how it is. Assassin's Creed Shadows Day 1 mission locked. Ubisoft locks 2 Day 1 missions behind paywalls Only Gold Edition, which is $109.99 or higher pre-orders, get all the mission. Standard Edition costs $69.99, and Collector's Edition hits $279.99. Pre-order bonus mission Thrown to the Dogs and season pass mission Infiltrate a Secret Society. So only Gold Edition will be getting the both of them. So why does it matter? Ubisoft's decision to gatekeep content has sparked frustration once again amongst fans, continuing a trend of locking ready-to-play missions behind higher-paying tiers. This is nothing new, so let's deep dive into this. Day one DLC is nothing new to the industry. The first time that I remember people really getting upset about day one DLC was actually Mass Effect 2's Prothean DLC. A lot of people were, mad about it, but it was, it was free with, when you bought the game. But unfortunately, this has become a more and more of a common practice, is locking things behind season passes or battle passes, because developers are making these games, but publishers are like, how can we monetize this further? A lot of it started with microtransactions, loot boxes, and then it went into the battle passes, the season passes, costumes, whatever. And it's just continually gotten more and more. And it's so sad to see, because a lot of these missions probably will be pretty good. Sometimes they're not. They're not worth it at all. I know DLCs with pre-order bonuses and all of that has not been anything new. The most recent actually was Hogwarts Legacy, that did this with the PlayStation version of it. You got the Dark Arts version where you got costumes, you got the horse thing, I can't remember what they're called, the Nazguls. They're not Nazguls, but y'all know what I mean. You got those, and you got a story mission that was PlayStation centric and for only the preview. But this is actually the second game that Ubisoft has done that with this year. The first being, of course, Star Wars Outlaws, locking a Jabba the Hutt mission behind a pre-order paywall where you have to get either the season pass or the more expensive version of it, which again, you still would be buying the season pass. So publishers are wanting more money, and they're devising different ways, trying to find different ways to wring it out of us. And it's so annoying, because we only have so much money and we can only play so many games. I think I'm 34 right now, and I only have so much time to play games. So yeah, I might play games that are a little bit, easier or quicker to get through. Like, I loved Venba. I loved Cocoon. It was a tight experience, and I got out of there and I didn't have to pay $20 to get the full story. But this is not anything new, and hopefully this will not be a trend. But if it is successful, Ubisoft is going to double down on this so hard. We already see this with 2K. 2K always has 3 versions of their games. You look at NBA 2K, there's always the standard edition, then there's like the silver edition, and then there's a gold edition. And it goes up by leaps and bounds. Ubisoft has adopted that as well here. You've got the standard edition, you've got the middle edition, and then you got the $280 edition. And I'm not sure what all comes with that $280 edition, but it is crazy. But I know Ubisoft wanted to put NFTs and everything. They thought that was the money-making scheme. Hopefully, this will go the way of the NFT and not the way of the loot box, where it has become the end-all, be-all, because I don't want that to happen. I just want to play some games and enjoy them. Guys, we got a little bit more sad news coming from Ubisoft. Ubisoft axes The Division Heartland. Ubisoft cancels The Division Heartland, a free-to-play spinoff. Cancellation revealed in an earnings report citing market adaptation. Resources relocated to X-Defiant and Rainbow Six. The Division 3 remains in development with no release date. Why does it matter? Ubisoft's strategy shift reflects changing market dynamics and the company's focus on more promising projects impacting fans and the gaming industry. So, kind of a quick dive into this. I don't know that many people that were really excited about the Division Heartland. I remember the announcement of this, and it didn't make a lot of waves. And I know that a free to play version of the Division would get a lot of people in there, especially the first 2 weeks, possibly get some money into it. But when your game is just a quick and go, it's just like you're not going to make a lot of money out of that. So I hate to see that this game has been canceled, but I am thankful that they're not laying off people. From what I've seen from this article, they are reallocating people into X Defiant, which is Ubisoft's trying to take down Call of Duty, their competitor for Call of Duty, and Rainbow Six continues to be super um competitive over there. But I know the last Rainbow Six game was not, but Siege continues to dominate over on UB side of things. Now it's time for some PlayStation news. PlayStation has appointed new leadership duo. Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced that Hideaki Nishino and Herman Holst as the new co-CEOs of PlayStation following Jim Ryan's retirement. We're glad that Jim Ryan's gone where he can rest. Hideaki Nishino, previously the SVP of Platform Experience, is known for his involvement in developing the PlayStation 5 user experience. Herman Holst, the head of PlayStation Studios since 2019, has been influential in the gaming industry, notably for his work with Guerrilla Games and their success with titles like Horizon Zero Dawn. The leadership transition aims to continue PlayStation's success and growth in the ever-evolving gaming market. Why does it matter? I like to ask that. Why does this all matter? The new leadership pairing of Nishino and Holst is poised to guide PlayStation through the next generation of gaming, focusing on innovative user experiences and expanding high-quality game development. So, a deep dive here real quick on this. Having two CEOs is kind of strange. It is something that we have seen a little bit more recently in the gaming industry. I'm not sure on the corporate side. Most of the times there's one person and then you've got different CEOs and everything. I think it is a very interesting and potentially good decision because you have not only one person to rely on, but you also have the different sides of PlayStation. You have the Japanese side and you have the American and Western, let's just call it the Western side of things. And not always have they played well together. I know that was one issue with Jim Ryan. He was having to travel a lot. He was located over in Europe and he was having to travel a lot to America, over to Japan. And having two CEOs to take on that weight, I think it will not be as hard of a job. It will still be a hard job because PlayStation has got to make some moves here, but having two people that have been in the trenches that aren't just suits, I think is very, very good for PlayStation. Also, when you're focusing on the user experience and high quality games, we're going to get more awesome things out of this. We're going to see PlayStation hopefully turn the page from live service bullcrap to actually making things that people want, having user experience that you don't feel like you're getting nickel and dimed for everything. Maybe we can get back to some of the things that made PlayStation 4 actually amazing. That would be awesome. And making games that aren't just live services. We're not getting things like Foam Stars or whatever, where 60% of the development budget actually was going towards live service games. We're getting stuff like a new Horizon or more God of War or maybe even a new Uncharted. I don't know. But getting things that aren't just the run of the mill, I think is so important for what PlayStation is going to do. So I hope both of these gentlemen do a fantastic job and that they work well together, because PlayStation needs some really good guidance right now in this transition period and everything, and with a lot of the changes in the gaming industry. So, with that being said, Microsoft plans more Xbox games for PlayStation 5 under Project Latitude. Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Sea of Thieves are already on the PlayStation 5, and Microsoft is deciding to have no red line on which titles may come to PS5. Driven by CEO Nadella and CFO Amy Hood's mandate to boost margins, that's where they're putting the no red line. Hellblade 2 is also hinted as a possible future PS5 release. So why does all of this matter? This move signals a shift towards a more inclusive gaming ecosystem, potentially bringing major Xbox exclusives like Halo and Gears of War to PlayStation players. This is big. When they're like, there's no red line, there's nothing, there's no line drawn here where we're going to say no. And the deep dive on this one is, this is Microsoft CEO Nadella. This is not Xbox division. This is the Microsoft CEO saying, Xbox, you've got to make money. You've spent almost $70 billion on buying Activision. We've got to make some profit, because they're also seeing how much money Activision is making. Is like, whoa, okay, that's actually how much money we could make. Why don't we make more games like that? Why don't we go to more places? Because all of Activision games are everywhere. They're not tied to a specific Microsoft CEO saying we're doing this. And there's a lot of turmoil over this. I think there's some butting heads on this mandate from Microsoft, but ultimately they're the ones that are deciding this, and they're the ones that are pushing this forward. I'm curious to see what people think on this. Do you think that this is healthy for Xbox? Is there a reason? And I know we've talked about it several times. Is there a reason to buy an Xbox if all the Xbox games are everywhere else? And I think that's a big thing to think about, because if Halo goes to PlayStation, man, that would be crazy. But these games, especially like Halo Infinite, their player count is dwindling. The content is gotten there finally, but their player count is down because there's nothing new there. But if you move it over to PlayStation, just like they did Sea of Thieves, Grounded, there's a new player base and they're excited and they're ready for it. Same thing with Gears, more people getting to experience those. It's just very, very interesting to see no red line. There's no limits on what games we will put over on the PlayStation. And I think PlayStation gamers are hungry right now, because there will not be a major title release over on PlayStation from first party studios until 2025. We are not even halfway through the year, and we've already gotten the big release from PlayStation in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's it. That's all we're really getting from PlayStation. There's a few smaller things, but that's the big one, and it's not even a first party title. So with this, Microsoft is poised to make big bank on that console because they can. Will this mean we see more stuff over on the Nintendo Switch? More than likely. It will be things like Pentiment, or Hi-Fi Rush won't even play over there. Grounded, they did a version of that, but I think we'll see more games on that level going over to Nintendo Switch, and I think that's totally fine. So very, very interesting. I feel like Microsoft is having to play the hand that is dealt them, because now the guys up top, the suits even above Phil Spencer and them, are saying, hey, we've got to cut costs. We've seen Tango Gameworks and Arcane Austin being closed down, with two more also. It's like, hey, we've got to make decisions here. We've got to make money. Y'all are not making money the way we need y'all to, and we need profits to go up. It's just as simple as that. So let's move into the PlayStation quickies, everybody. Sony reportedly forms a new studio with X Deviation Games employees. Sony confirms more PS Plus Extra and Premium games set to leave on May 21st. Sony reveals PSN monthly active users reach 118 million during quarter four fiscal year 23. PS2 emulator Star Wars The Clone Wars listed for release on PS5 and PS4. New Sly Cooper game rumors shot down by Jason Schreier. Square Enix reportedly says Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth sold below expectation. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier, them wanting to go multi-platform. Helldivers 2 sells top 12 million copies worldwide. Arrowhead Boss wants Helldivers 2 to last forever, even if it has to sunset game in the far future. Lego Horizon Adventures reportedly a new PlayStation game set for reveal soon. So that's like Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. Lego is making Horizon game, which will be very interesting. I'm curious what they're going to do. Ghost of Tsushima single player campaign playable on Steam Deck, multiplayer Legends mode not playable. Ghost of Tsushima PC crossplay will launch with a beta label attached. Rumor God of War Ragnarok for PC to be announced soon. I think that's big. Getting God of War on there. PlayStation is trying to push into the PC market hardcore right now. Their fumble with Helldivers is definitely going to affect the sale of Ghost of Tsushima with the PSN connectivity and everything. I know God of War will sell really well, but I also think PC players are kind of stringent and fickle. Once you burn them, they're not going to want to come back. So, guys, it's time for the Patreon quick hits. The quick hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You can go support us over there at patreon.com/nerdcave. Become a NerdCave member. Become part of the crew. Get your NerdCave membership over there. Help us keep the lights and the mics on and do more awesome shows like this, Eat Sleep Anime, Car Thoughts, and everything else that we do with the Nerd Cave. I'm going to take one more sip. The Patreon quick hits. Arcane Austin reportedly hoped to return to immersive sim genre prior to closure. Resident Evil 4 remake sales hit over 7 million units globally. Rumor, Resident Evil 1 remake is in development, is set to launch for series 30th anniversary in 2026. Phil Spencer's camp in Fallout 76 has been nuked. Phil Spencer is very known for playing Fallout 76, but someone nuked his camp. Xbox exec suggests Call of Duty 2024 will launch straight into Game Pass. I will believe it when I see it. Rumor, Call of Duty 2026 and 2027 details revealed. COD 26 supposedly set in Ghost timeline. The worst Call of Duty, in my opinion. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 pretty much confirmed after Treyarch acknowledges Sally Pistol's discovery in Warzone. Activision forms new studio Elsewhere Entertainment is working on narrative-based genre-defying AAA franchise. Limited Run Games says Hi-Fi Rush Physical Edition is still a go after Tango Gameworks closure. More job cuts at Xbox are reportedly on the way. Lightforge game suffers significant layoffs. D&D inspired Project Orcs development has been paused. CI Games issue final rounds of layoffs with 30 people losing their jobs. Square Enix confirms layoffs for publishing, IT, and SE Collective indie games division. Devolver Digital co-founder backs selling games first over Game Pass style day one launches. Capcom reports 7 years of record profits. Good job, Capcom. Jurassic World Evolution Dev Frontier Developments announces its third game incoming. Assassin's Creed Infinity will reportedly have monthly subscription and focus on microtransaction. Boo. Sega reportedly plans to annualize Like a Dragon, Persona, and Sonic with new games, remakes, DLC, and more. Sega is considering a global release for Persona 5, The Phantom X. Poppy Playtime is the latest horror video game to get a movie treatment. The ROG Ally X announced next handheld gaming PC featuring new color variant and improved battery life. Dead by Daylight teases D&D theme chapter. EA's Andrew Wilson suggests putting advertising in AAA games, says it could be a meaningful driver for growth. Talking about like putting more advertisement. EA has been a huge proponent of putting advertisement in their games for a long time. With sports games, it's a little bit easier, but when you're playing, Mass Effect or Dragon Age, you don't want like to see flipping Mountain Dew on a side of a mountain. I don't know. The next Doom game could be revealed this June. Former XCOM creative director reveals Midsummer Studios, co-founder with other former Firaxis devs to make a next-gen life sim game. Rogue Prince of Persia has been delayed to May 27th because of Hades 2. Atlas is delisting the original Shin Megami Tensei 5 and its DLC ahead of Vengeance's launch. Datamine suggests Red Redemption PC port may finally be coming. Zelda's Majora Mask and other N64 games get native PC ports through unofficial modding tool. Gamma, a free PS4 emulator, has launched over on the Apple App Store. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Tomb Raider series has been given a green light by Amazon Prime. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 actor has clocked 508 hours of studio recording. Nexon says the finals has seen a lower than expected performance. Oh, there you go. Mortal Kombat 2 will hit cinemas in October 2025. Switch Online gets 3 Game Boy launch titles, including Super Mario Land. Assassin's Creed Shadows physical copy will require an internet connection to install the game, but won't need a connection at all times to play the game. Assassin's Creed Shadows map is closer to the size of AC Origins. AC Shadows will feature seasonal changes that impact the game world. Ubisoft outlines Skull and Bones Season 2 after tremendous response to the game since launch. Yeah, I bet. Since Saints Row 2022 reportedly sold 1.7 million units, making it the lowest selling entry in the series. Crash Bandicoot 4 devs updates website with new logo. Fans speculate a new Crash or Spyro is on the way. Maybe it's a combo because the Tiki head is like purple. Maybe it's a Spyro and Crash crossover. That would be pretty freaking cool. Summer Games Fest to have more than 55 studios and publishers, including PlayStation, Xbox, and more. And finally, EA Sports College Football 25 finally has a release date set for July 19th. With a deluxe edition purchase, you get the game 3 days earlier on July 16th. One thing that I wanted to hit real quick on this is, where's it at? Where is it at? No. Trying to find where it was. Activision forms new studio Elsewhere Entertainment is working on narrative-based, genre-defining AAA franchises. How bad would you feel as a game developer at Tango, at Arcane Austin, to get sacked last week? Your studio is closing. The week after that, you hear Activision, the new girl in the situation, the new boy in the situation, whatever you want to say, the new fling for Xbox just launched a new studio after they closed yours. After you have been doing exactly what they wanted. I'm talking about Tango here. You might not have made AAA, but you could. So it's very interesting. They're cutting costs, they're cutting this, they're wanting to expand and all of that, and then you close 4 studios and then you open one up. It's very sus. It's very sus. And this part of the gaming industry really it sucks. Every week we talk about layoffs, but yeah, it's gotten old. It's gotten old to see only the people that have money are the ones that are winning. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Nerd Cave News. Let us know what you thought of it down in the comments below. If you want to check out the audio version of the show, we also are on Spotify, Apple, Google Play, and a bunch of other places. So go support us over there. Go listen, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review. We're on Spotify as well. And make sure to go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. Go support us. Get that Nerd Cave membership. Guys, we love y'all. We hope you have a wonderful week. This has been Zach. Have a blessed week. Bye.